I'll introduce I can make this easy if anybody wants to take a shot of that. That's the spelling of my name. I know it's sometimes I get it a little difficult there. So, and I will try not to move everybody's microphones as best I can here. I think I've already done that a little bit. All right. Well, do the best I can. All right. On behalf of Chief Cliff Kaysen, who is out of town at the moment and unavailable, I want to make sure I welcome everybody here. Thank you for coming. We're here to add a little bit of information regarding the traffic stop of May the 5th and the arrest of Miss Arias-Cristobal. The Dalton Police Department and the prosecuting attorney for the city of Dalton have dismissed the charges of making an improper turn and driving without a driver's license. After reviewing the dash cam video of the traffic stop, it was determined that Miss Arias-Cristobal's to the offender vehicle that actually made the improper right turn. Earlier today, I notified the city administrator that we had started the procedure to dismiss the citation for the improper turn, and then the prosecuting attorney was then consulted. And after that discussion, both charges against Miss Arias-Cristobal were dismissed from the traffic stop from May the 5th. The city attorney then promptly notified Miss Arias-Cristobal's attorneys of the status change of both of these citations. So what we're going to do now is we will play the video that has been made available to everyone. And at the end, after we show the video, I can come back and kind of give a narration of what the video showed after we get a chance to look at it. So I'm going to try to move this podium and not eject everybody's microphones here. If the screens behind you on the sides are more available to you, they'll also be displayed there.
Go ahead.
876-967. Repeating 055-876-967.
Yeah, we're just confirming your 28. Was it Sam Adams Victor 2349?
2249.
Yeah, for a 2016 Toyota Tacoma, white in color, to a Maurice Crowder, Franklin Valley. 7 PM Valley, hello.
Robert, Adam, Sam. First, I'm going to spell it. X-ray, Ida, Mary, Edward, Nora. 3/16/2006.
Six 14 male or female?
Female.
Six 14, I'm showing your on film.
10. So, you said that you have an international birth company, but you're not allowed to drive anymore?
Yeah, I do have a lot of
Your mom put up your head. Okay.
but I have to.
Where did you originally have license from? What country? Mexico? Okay. Where do you live?
I live here in Norton,
What's the address?
1103 Valencia Drive.
103 Valencia?
I live in Montana.
What's the phone number?
706-847-35. She's she looks brought to her license.
Okay. Why are you driving?
I had rings.
You had to bring this?
I didn't have to, but I wanted to do the person a favor.
You wanted to do the person a favor?
They're at work. They got taken to work this morning by somebody.
Okay.
And, they told me they
And what's your date of birth?
March 16th, 2006. I have my student ID of that Ximena.
Let me see your student ID. Put it back.
Where's those where I see folks?
Whose truck is this?
Jenny the Chargers.
And who's she to you?
She's basically like an aunt to me. She's really close to my mom.
All right, where's she at? Where does she work?
I-
You don't know?
I just know her. I don't know where she works.
Okay. Do you have her phone number?
I might need
28, and see if you can find an RO, and if you can, get them on the phone for me. I'll be right back.
UTC preparation.
So what you'll see is there's two files. The way our system records, it overlaps. So what you're going to see is the second part of this. It'll pick up within the last 10 seconds or so of that video, but it'll take you to the conclusion.
967, repeating. 967.
Yeah, we're just gonna bring her 28, was it Sam Adam Victor 2349?
2249, 2249.
It's right from a 2016 Toyota Tacoma, white in color, to a Maurice Crowder, from the valley.
Sorry, thought we had it queued up, but I think the video may have reset itself. So we'll get it to the point where.
It's not when you have to jail, let's say Georgia. Hey, call your mom and get the person's phone number.
I called it right here. This is it. 706
Call her through on.
James, algo es Ximena, quiero hablar de policía contigo, ¿ok? She thinks she's very nice and she's flirting with me.
Put your mom on the phone.
My mom speaks with me. She didn't fully understand.
All right, you can take her off this window,
Roll it up.
roll it up. Go ahead and step out when you're done. So in the state of Georgia, when you drive without a license, you know what happens? Have you ever been to jail? Oh, you're going. Girl,
I cannot go to jail. I have my finals next weekend. My family really depends on this.
you shouldn't be driving.
I know.
You'll get released.
My family doesn't have the money to release me. It's only my mom. It's my mom with 3 daughters, and she's barely paying off my college. She's barely paying it off. I'm barely getting school here. I have no other way.
You shouldn't be driving.
I
Go ahead and turn it off, and you have to go to jail. Let's get to jail. Can you go back?
Can I call my mom?
Yeah, we'll call your mom. Do you need anything out of the truck other than your phone?
No, sir.
Okay, good phone.
There's someone that can pick up the truck, Jenny can.
You good?
Yeah,
All right,
she can.
go ahead, open it.
Um,
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué va a pasar? Ximena, ¿sabes lo que va a pasar?
yes, mami, just, llámale a Jenny que venga a recoger la troca, mami, yo te llamo allá, ¿ok?
Let her know, let her know that in about a couple hours, supposed to go the paperwork, she called the jail. What all, when and how much or what it's gonna take to get you out, okay?
Mami, dice que nada más eso tiene que ir a pagar.
¿Y te sacan?
Sí, so ponte vos allá, habla con Jenny, ponte, a ver,
¿Quién tiene que ir a pagar?
no sé, no importa quién, nada más agarrar a alguien. Y yo no sé,
Ya lo tengo.
Does she have any questions?
Ahora, mami, los $7,000 están. Donde está mi Biblia al lado de mi lámpara, abajo en ese cajón, abajo de mi lámpara, ahí están los $7,000. ¿Tienes unas preguntas? ¿Tienes preguntas para que lo pregunte?
No, nada más dile, ya te lleva para allá, ¿verdad?
Yes.
No sabe
En unas
ni qué ni
cuantas
nada de
horas.
cuánto va a ser.
No, no sé. Nada más en unas cuantas horas puedes llamar, ¿ok? A la cárcel.
Ay, a ver si no te llevan para Jaina, si le dijeron a tu papá.
Ok, bye, mami.
Ok, bye.
I love you.
Nadie.
We're gonna go ahead and grab the truck keys and you're gonna take them with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Who's this?
Jenny, baby. Hello.
Aló, Ximena, ¿qué pasó?
Hola, es que me están arrestando. Mi mamá acaba de llamar para.
Ay, Dios mío, está bien.
Gracias, bye.
Was that her?
Ay,
Yeah, I just want to know what's happening. I just sort of get in contact with them.
Okay. You want me to take the keys to your mom? So Jenny can get her truck?
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, my mom is out where they don't want her.
Okay. Nothing else you need in the car?
No, sir. Those are not my pills. I don't know what they are.
Okay, sure. For, I think your dad? Your dad, Jose?
Yeah, that's my son. I don't know.
I'm 10-4, below 95. Do me a favor, step away, turn around, back up a little bit. I'm gonna search you when we use the back of my hand, okay? All right, come over here. Right, never see it? $14.
Go ahead.
I'll be out to the jail with one female cop knowledge,
Go ahead with it.
31604.
Simple.
Okay, just kind of a brief recap. The statement that was sent out had a synopsis of what you kind of just saw. The video, as you could see, shows a black pickup truck passing in front of the patrol car camera. That vehicle, the officer, it's out of the camera view, but the officer observed that vehicle make an illegal right turn north onto Thornton Avenue, where it is marked no right turns. The officer proceeded to pull out. As you can see, got caught in traffic behind another vehicle, waited until he had the proper ability to turn right. Before he got into traffic, multiple vehicles had the chance to get in front of him, in between him and the vehicle that was the offending vehicle. Miss Arias-Cristobal was driving a dark gray pickup truck. Obviously, the one that passed in front of him was a dark colored pickup truck as well. And the officer was looking for the truck and ended up stopping the vehicle that he believed was the offender vehicle once he caught up to it. And as you can tell, the audio recording came in, again, because of the way our camera system's set up, we have to recharge those body packs. Once it came on is when you saw the audio come on, once he got it out of the cradle where it was charging. And that's what you saw and all the way to the conclusion there at the end when he informs her of what she's going to be arrested for. So I think we can probably take a few questions. I mean, there are obviously some questions I can't answer that don't have to deal with, kind of our part of this. But if there are some questions, I will answer them if I can. If I can't, then I'll kind of let you know.
Hi, Chief. Thank you to Diego from Dalton State to try to logically think of what I'm going to say. It's a two-part question, more of a statement. After watching that footage, I mean, just how livid it feels as a member of, someone who's undocumented, someone who got through the process, someone who does so much for this town, for the city, the officer's demeanor, the chant, the reason for pulling over. That truck looked nothing like the truck that I saw, and it made no logical sense for that to have been the truck based on the timing. So I guess my question first is one of accountability. I mean, to me, that's such a blatant mistake, pulling that false truck over. It made no sense to even consider that was the truck. But second, my question would be more for the police department as a whole. I mean, the community of Dalton, we know how it is. What would be some things that maybe you'll be doing from a community standpoint to kind of, because putting it bluntly, this has put such a black stain on our community here, Hispanic community for sure, larger community as well. There's such a black stain now just because of this situation. Ximena, there's nobody in this community that didn't have some type of connection with her. And now her life is essentially ruined because of an unnecessary officer mistake. Is there any type of accountability that is planned, any type of community outreach that is planned? Could you please speak on that?
Well, I mean, I can't certainly give you the plans of what we have going forward. We do have an internal review process, which is in place and has been started to look at this from all different aspects. And certainly we're, as a nationally accredited agency, we certainly have lots of forms of checks, balances, things that we have to answer to. We have best practices in place. And we certainly always try to do exactly what we're supposed to do, the way we're supposed to do it. And I'm not sure that answers your question completely, but I really don't have anything for you to tell you what we'll be doing as far as outreach or anything going forward. So,
Thank you, Chief.
yes, sir.
Two questions. She was pulled over in a Dodge Ram. Was that Dodge Ram that we saw that he passed? Was that the one that he felt had made the illegal right turn? It was very similar.
Well, because the pickup that he ultimately stopped, that's the one that he felt like had committed the infraction. And, watching the video from perfect hindsight 2020 view of a camera, we can certainly see that the vehicle was a different one in that line of traffic. So he made the stop on the vehicle that he believed was the correct one. So
my second question is, and it's the hard question. What do you say to her family? This was a mistake, and you owned up to the mistake. A mistaken arrest, mistaken charges, you dropped the charges. However, now she's in custody of the federal government, possibly being deported. After she was 40 years old.
well, while we certainly regret the circumstances that led us to where we are here today, we always feel like it's best to make sure that we make corrections, make things as right by our procedures, policies as we certainly can. That's why we have all the internal reviews that we have, and that's kind of where I would say we are. We're certainly one to make sure that we got the notification out to her attorneys as quickly as possible, so that they had that information, which the information that we've been able to give out.
It's out of your hands.
Yeah.
Sir, it's Camilo with CBS. I have two questions. First one is, have you notified ICE of this decision by the local authorities dismissing the charges? And if not, why not? And if not, do you plan to? That's the first question.
Well, we have notified her attorneys,
Sure.
which is what our responsibility would be. They're the ones who are handling her case. We really have no part. Our part obviously is enforcing state law in the video that what you just saw and what the charges were. Once we determined that those charges, or at least the no turn on red charge was an incorrect charge, we started immediately into the process of making sure that got dismissed. We have no part in the other proceedings. I'm sure her attorneys now with this information will make sure that is brought forward on her behalf.
But you're not planning on alerting ICE about this dismissal?
Yeah, I don't think that would be something for our agency. That would certainly be in the process and the procedure.
The second question is, does this case show that there has to be some policy changes at the local state level?
I don't know that I can speak to that. Our internal policies are what guide the way that we handle our business every day. We're given state law and we're given those sort of things to enforce. And we build our procedures and the way we do things every day around that. So I certainly couldn't speak as to what the state needs to do.
But shouldn't your officers have the discretion to decide not to arrest somebody?
Again, not a decision for us to make. So I would defer that to the people whose decision that would be.
Mario Guevara with MD News. Who reported with ICE? Was your agency or the sheriff office?
Yeah, we would not have made any sort of report with us. We would not have. The Dalton Police Department would not have.
It's just part of the normal procedure, which is looked into the.
Yeah. We made an arrest based on state law, and the procedure from there is not within our purview. So.
Yes, I think this case shed light about very frequent situation in our community. We have many calls every week for similar situations. So, do you see the connection between, like you said, the police is not, I see the connection, we call it as a chain to deportation. Is there any discretion for the police department when someone is stopped at the traffic stop to just give a citation or something instead of being arrested?
Well, officers have discretion up to a point in traffic stops. There are certain things that we're given directives, and we have certain laws and certain directives that come to us telling us what to do after that initial contact is made. And certainly we don't make those policies. We go with what we have and we enforce them with the way that they're written. And certainly that's a question for people more at a state level than at a local level.
At the local level, do you see the impact and the pain in the community about this? Or I understand it's just, I'm not asking you to break the law. What I'm saying is that it's a huge punishment for another traffic plan or something all the way to be reported. So we're asking to see the payment in the community.
I certainly see your point.
What's the standard, like what's the policy between pulling footage for an arrest? Is that done every arrest or?
We have certain practices in place. We do checks of video, just random checks. That's kind of a checks and balances kind of thing we have. If we feel like a case is probably going to go to court, usually at the earliest opportunity when the officer comes back to work and that video becomes available, a lot of times we'll pull it. It's kind of a case-by-case basis. In this instance, we certainly wanted to make sure that video was preserved, and then that's kind of why it led us to this particular case. It's a case-by-case.
And to follow up on that, so how long have you guys had this actual footage? You realized that there was a mistake between, today coming out with the statement?
We made they reviewed the video for the first time late yesterday afternoon. So this morning would have been the first opportunity for us to make notifications, and we made them within probably an hour. Once I got here this morning, and I wanted to make sure I had a handle on what everything looked like. We began the procedure. Again, we wanted to try to get that information out as quickly as we can to make sure that we were going in the right direction. Yes, sir.
Jake Holden, News 12. Mine's a two-part question. One, what type of outreach programs does the Dalton Police Department do right now with the Hispanic community here? And two, are you concerned that there's growing concern about ICE raids across the country could undermine those efforts?
I don't know that's kind of a question. We do a lot of things just within our community. To say what we do directly to try and get out within the Hispanic community, I mean, there's different types of things that we do. A lot of times we go into the schools. We try to be at events that are going on. We try to be out there and be open. And the big thing is we try to be open and available when people have questions. We try to be out there and be as open as we can be about what's going on and be honest about it. So, we'll continue to try and do that. We'll certainly always continue to try, and we want to be as open and representative for our community as we can.
You don't think this kind of action will affect the relation with the Hispanic community? Because some people believe this is racial profiling against them.
I understand. People certainly can believe a lot of different things. There's a video, and you can certainly from that officer's perspective, you can make your own conclusions about different things. And certainly we have that internal review process so that we can look at all those different things to make sure that we do with the things that we're supposed to be doing.
You talk about looking internally a lot. Is there something that comes for the officer as using this as a lesson, or does something come for the officer from this, or anything?
Well, that process is ongoing. We have a lot of different procedures in place to look at these sort of things, look at what happened, and once we have everything gathered, everything kind of in the same place, that's when ultimately that determination will be made. We don't want to make it without having everything in place there. So, yes, ma'am.
Chief, yes, Alani with Atlanta News First. I'm just wondering, since you're not going to call ICE, do you anticipate them calling your department? And then if so, what happens now with Ximena?
Well, I mean, I can't really speak to their policies and procedures, but I'm not sure that any of the information from us would be usable for them. If it is and they contact us, then we'll give them whatever information that we have. It's a procedure that I really couldn't step out and speak about because I don't know exactly what their process is. And so I really don't know how to answer that question. We have notified the people that represent her in those proceedings. And certainly they have all of this information. They were notified first, which was the right way to do this, to make sure they had the information as early as we could possibly get it to them. And then if more follow-up information is needed from any of those agencies, we certainly would provide it if we have it. Yes, ma'am.
I missed this, but if you guys got the video yesterday, why did it take so long to review that footage? I mean, if the arrest happened on the 5th and you reviewed yesterday, what took so long?
Well, you have occasion of the officer being unavailable, which the video, our vehicles go home with our officers. So the video is unavailable, and that was the first opportunity really for him to sit down with his supervisor, bring the video in, pull it, and be able to preserve it and make sure that it gets looked at. So there's a lot of different factors that go into that. And we certainly, like I said before, I mean, we don't, it's not a habit to review every single traffic stop as they happen. As things become apparent, then we certainly make it. And we had talked about making sure it got viewed as early as we could. And yesterday was the opportunity for him and his supervisor to sit down, look at it and get it. So.
And because of the media attention to this particular case, is that the reason why you guys decided to review this? You said you don't.
Yeah, that certainly played into this. We felt like it would probably be a case that would go to court, and this evidence would be important to make sure it was preserved. Anytime you're dealing with digital evidence, you know, the earliest that you can get your hand on it, and which was yesterday for us, to be able to preserve it in the way that it needed to be preserved. And so that was why this particular case, like I said, it's a case-by-case basis.
Chief, are you identifying the officer? Is he facing disciplinary or administrative leave, anything like that?
Well, the internal review process is ongoing. That's not been completed yet. So.
Any plan to go with the family to tell apology or something like that?
Right now, there's not, you know, that nothing has been planned on that. We're still, again, this was kind of a rapidly evolving thing from this morning all the way up through when we made the notifications that we needed to make. And again, it's certainly something that, you know, we regret that we've ended up where we are. And we certainly want to make sure that information got out as quickly as we could, and then we'll continue with our internal process.
Gregory, on the News Channel 9, are officers not able to immediately check their dash cam if they pull over the right suspect? Because they were looking for a Ford initially, but they ended up pulling a Dodge.
So what you have, and again, looking at this video, you is sitting in that car. The camera's pointing straight ahead. The red light in question is off to the right. And I can't speak for the officer, but in knowing where this happened, my estimation of this would be that what he saw was a dark colored full-size pickup truck. Going back again with the clarity of video, 20/20 hindsight, when that truck passed in front, I have a really good view of it. I don't know exactly what the officer's thoughts were, but truck, I would say that's what he felt like he was looking for. So,
Are you in a position, Chief, to talk about what you would like ICE to do in this case? And if you're not, will any of the city officials take that question?
I mean, I don't think, again, that's completely out of our purview. I mean, what happens from the level, at that level, is not something that we have any, or I can only speak for me. I mean, it's certainly not something that.
But just based on the fact that you are admitting here that you made a mistake, your agency at least made a mistake in this case.
Well, again, the incident that happened with us is exactly what you saw. The incident that they're dealing with and their processes are their processes. So can't really speak to exactly what's going on with them because I don't know their processes. So,
right, but she would not be in ICE custody had she not been stopped.
Well, I mean, that certainly in this particular incident,
right.
It kind of looks like where potential could be. I mean, that's, you know, you can play out any kind of anything that you want to play out. But yes, sir.
Is there going to be a chance to speak to the officer who was behind it to get his thoughts on this one?
Yeah, we don't have any plans right now to make that officer available. So.
There is a perception that there is more presence lately in the community. Is that true? And many times we have our office on Morley Street, and I see very frequently police cars around it. And how do you decide where the police cars are going to be parked or checking people?
Okay. Well, I mean, our process is we have a certain number of officers working each shift. We have the city divided up into zones. We have officers assigned to those zones, trying to have officers as close to any call that we could possibly be to get there as quickly as we can. We are a data-driven agency, so we look at data continually. We know where things are happening. We know where there are a lot of traffic crashes on Walnut Avenue. So if I have officers who, during their discretionary time, are trying to reduce the number of injuries, then Walnut Avenue is a really good place for them to be. So there are certain levels, we put officers in parts of the city, but then the information that they also have as far as the city, part of the city that they're in, a lot of times dictates where they spend their time. And we try to be in the areas where we're having the most issues more of the time than not. So we encourage them and we want them patrolling the entire area that they're assigned to. But there are certain areas that need different types of attention. And in this incident, I mean, he's in a very high area of traffic, trying to look at the things that cause a lot of our traffic crashes.
You know, her father was arrested before for the same department, your agency. It happened before. Two members of the same family was arrested in just a few days difference.
Has it happened before?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
So just to clarify, her father was not arrested by the Dalton Police Department.
That's correct. Yeah, it was a different agency that had contact with me. Okay.
Yeah, yes, Brady Hicks with the Dalton Daily Citizen. You had mentioned that you didn't have any immediate plans to reach out to the family. Would you be able to speak on any immediate plans by the police department regarding this case? If there are?
Well, I mean, immediately we're going to continue with our internal process on this and reviewing immediately be what we're going to do and continue to do from here on out. As far as anything beyond that, I wouldn't want to speak to it right now. So.
Mistakes happen. Everyone makes mistakes, including officers. But unfortunately, this mistake probably ruined this young girl's life. I know you said you guys don't have any plans right now, or you're still in the decision-making process. But is there anything else you'd like to say to the family who are probably watching?
Well, again, like I said, it's a very regrettable place that we are right here. That we've ended up in this place with the way this unfolded and the way it turned out, and that's kind of where we are. I mean, it's intent is one of those things. When you're watching this video, I mean, you can certainly again make up your mind as to what you're seeing, and that's what people will do. I can tell you from being here almost 30 years that we are a department that takes incredible care to make sure that our officers are trained, to make sure that our officers are doing the things the way they're supposed to be doing. I've been here almost 30 years, and I'm very proud to work here because of the way we do things. I've seen agencies all around the country, and when I come back here, I always am really appreciative of the way that we do things. So.
You know, the federal government, especially Donald Trump, is very aggressive with our community. Your agency has any position about all of this?
No, sir.
Question, Chief, you mentioned the word regrettably a lot, and that word, when you regret something, it means that you wish things had gone differently. But there's thousands of Ximenas in this town, thousands of them. And you've seen how officers' carelessness can lead to lives ruined. With that, with your department, you can't answer this. With your department, is there anything going forward that you are going to instruct with your officers to avoid this, so it's not something regrettably, rather it's something that doesn't have to happen?
I mean, certainly we always try to learn from any incident that comes up. And going forward, once we're finished with our review, we will certainly look at what we feel like are the points for us to learn from this, and we'll go forward with whatever they are. Without it being completed and with us being where we are, to speak to that would kind of be probably getting a little bit ahead of where we are.
Chief, I'm going to give you the opportunity. You obviously don't have to, you don't want to. A city official, just talk about what this may have or may not have done with the Hispanic and Latino community inside the city of Dalton. If you don't,
As Chief Carlson said, I'm Andrew Parker, City Administrator. You know, we became aware of the facts of the video today. We're still processing this. Ever since I was called this morning We followed the process that the chief talked about in the press release. We're working through this in real time. So we tried to make the chief available and the city available as quick as we could to comment. As the chief said, our first and most important goal was to notify the attorneys that are working on her case so that they can make the proper notifications on their end. We're still in the process of reviewing that. And once the police department completes their review and presents their findings to me and the assistant city administrator, we'll loop the elected officials in and we'll make further preparations and arrangements for anything that the council and the mayor and the leadership determine need to be done. But it would be, as the chief said, premature, because our goal today, when I was notified and we got the city attorney, the city prosecutor to review the facts, I mean, all of that just occurred this morning based on what the chief said when they pulled the video yesterday evening or afternoon, and the video was presented until, I didn't see the video until about lunch. And so here we are just this evening working through this. And so we'll withhold comment right now on anything past today to give the police department an opportunity to review and then an opportunity for us to discuss internally the city leadership.
Couple more questions maybe, and then we'll let everybody get where they need to go. Yes, sir.
One last thing, Chief, for me at least, I'm reading the comments here from people, and one thing they pointed out is, in some explanations, but there's really not been a sense of an apology at all to Ximena or her family. Like, would you be prepared to apologize on behalf of the police department?
Well, again, I keep using that same word. I mean, it's a regrettable situation and a regrettable place that we've ended up in. Officer was trying to do his job. He was trying to enforce traffic law. He was trying to look for violations that cause a lot of crashes in that area. And not trying to seem, anything, but when you're dealing with vehicles, you can see the back of a vehicle. And that's what he was looking at, is the back of a vehicle. And again, I've been in a situation where I've done traffic enforcement before. And I'm looking for the vehicle that I believe committed that infraction, and that's the one that I'm going after. So, as far as being prepared to offer an apology, I think that's kind of what a lot of this is for. I mean, to come out and tell you that, this officer wasn't doing his job, I can't tell you that, because he was trying to enforce traffic law and trying to reduce crashes. I mean, that's what he's out here trying to do. And again, and I use the word regret because that's what it is. I mean, it is a situation where, as you can see, the wrong vehicle was stopped. And it is a very regrettable thing that, that is where this led. And it led to initial this type of contact with her. So that is kind of the place that I am. I mean, I can stand here and say it kind of all day long. And I mean, it's not that I'm not absolutely empathetic to the situation, everything that's going on with them. I've lived here pretty much my entire life. I mean, I've grown up in a community that has changed, and that is the community that it is, and it's a strong community. And it's a strong community because of a lot of the different cultures that we have here. We have done a whole lot of things through the years trying to make sure that we're as open with people as we can. We get a whole lot of people who don't understand exactly what we do, why we do it, or how we do it. And we have a Citizens Police Academy where people can come in and kind of be here, hear from those officers, and you can ask them those hard questions, and the answer is generally, well, not generally, the answer is going to be that, I mean, no, we're trying to do things by the book and the way it's done. And when we found out that we did not do it that way, we want to make sure that we get out here and get the information out that that's what happened. And that's kind of what we're trying to do.
I understand that part.
Yeah.
Without the justification, but I mean, it's something as simple as saying, "Hey, I'm sorry that this."
Yeah, and that may be something
that say that
that may be something that we decide to reach out at some point to the family. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of cameras, and that certainly wouldn't be a heartfelt message from me if I sit here and say it to a camera. If that makes sense. I mean, it does to me, but maybe it doesn't to everybody else the way I'm saying it.
But something like this can happen tomorrow again. You talk with your officer, or let's see any instruction to be more careful, because literally they are destroying the life of this girl.
Well, that's certainly something that's always talked about. I mean, you're trained, officers are trained. I mean, officers are trained and these sort of things are talked about. It's doing things the right way. There's procedures in place and policies in place to guide officers in their actions. And again, like you said, it's one of those things that officers will see this. They're not immune to seeing this, the way we're talking about this and what we're talking about. And it will be discussed in roll calls. There'll be training done with the officers. And again, we just try to do the best that we can every day. And that's what we strive to do, is to be the best.
Really quick, in that video, she gets arrested and he says, have you ever been to jail before? And then he goes, well, you're going. Is there a way I'm going to teach them how to better talk to the people that are like, she was complying, she was asking all the right questions, she never once got out of line, but the way, that's what hurt me the most.
Yes.
Is hearing him like, oh, well, going to jail. Like, I feel like he's been such, the D with a K at the end. He could have done it better than that. So is there a way I'm going to teach them to be more tactful, be more courteous, instead of just being like, oh, I'm the cop with the badge, I can do what I want?
I understand what you're saying. I understand the perception where you're looking at it.
Because that clip right there is going to go viral all across the US of that right there.
Okay. And again, tone of voice is what you're talking about?
Yes, the tone of
Okay.
voice. Like she did not do anything to disrespect him at all.
I got you. And again, I didn't take that as disrespectful. I mean, the tone a little bit,
I mean,
out
when he
there
says, the
to
state
some
of Georgia,
people.
the law of the state of Georgia is, and then he's like, well, have you ever been to jail before? And, well, you're going. I mean, did he have to say, well, you're going? He said, well, the state of Georgia is what we got to do.
Understood. I hear what you're saying.
Guys, this is about 5 after 8 now. I think we've covered a lot of ground here, so I think that we can go ahead and wrap this up today.
Just one last question. Has the arresting officer expressed to you or anyone else that he regrets the incident?
I have not
And how it
spoken.
was handled?
I have not spoken with him personally, so I can't comment on that. But we have different layers within the agency that would handle the internal part. So I have not yet, so I can't answer that question. I mean, I can't speak to that.
If anybody has any follow-up questions, please feel free to send them to me via email, and we'll work on getting you answers for them.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. De esa manera termina la conferencia de prensa aquí en la policía de Dalton, vieron en vivo. Cuestionamos mucho a este policial sobre las acciones de su oficial, en este caso